Welcome back to War Thunder Weekly News. The dev server was open this week, so this is going to be a bit of a long one because there's a lot of new stuff to cover. First up, we're going to blaze through these Devblogs because you probably already know about every vehicle that's coming in the next patch. But let's cover them anyways. The Puma, a very long-awaited vehicle. It has terrible armor, it's really fast, it's a bit awkward to drive because it has wheels, not treads. But its gun is amazing. It's the same gun on that one premium Panzer II. With its APCR and whatnot, it can get up to like 150 millimeters. So really, this thing is going to be used by people wanting to kind of troll top tiers. That one premium Panzer II can do it perfectly well. I messed around with it a bit, and the Panzer II is a bit easier to control. The wheels are less awkward. Maybe it's not as fast on the road, but this thing is going to be very exciting. Next up, the T55A, another very long-awaited vehicle. T55 is really just a T54 but updated. Has the same armor, same gun. Different ammo, better penetration values. Forgot what kind of ammo it has, but all the stats should be in a link in the description. You'll see that there. The T-55 will also be at the very end of the Russian medium tank line after the T-62, which is a bit weird. It's also at 8.3. The next tank is the M60A2 Starship. It's a M60 body with a new turret. It looks very space age-esque. It has some pretty good armor, lots of angles, which is good for deflecting shells, but it also has the same ammo and I think gun as the M551 Chardon, including the ATGM, which will be pretty cool. Although it would be nice if the US could get a designated ATGM tank. After that, there's a new tank map. Oh, well, not really new actually. The updated Kuban. It was awful. Now I played on it a bit, and it's not too awful. I didn't play an actual match or anything. It was a custom battle, so I don't know how it's going to really work out in battle, but it looks nice. There's a new little base in one side, that you can drive through buildings and whatnot, and they kind of overall just kind of flattened out. It's less extreme on the bumps. For aircraft Devblogs, we're going to start with the Ba.65 K14. It's a Tier 1 reserve, actually, heavy fighter armed with 50 cals, has some bombs. Like, it's a very abnormal reserve aircraft. All other reserve aircrafts are like biplanes. You just get through the same biplane, really. Wonder if they're going to change up the reserve aircraft in the future. It'd be interesting. Also, in this devlog, they revealed the new pilot for Italian planes, and they decided to nickname him Mario, apparently the grandfather of their historical consultants for Italian aircraft. The next one was the MC205. It's basically MC202, but much better. There's going to be about 2 of them, I believe. The US got another bomber, the PB4Y-2 Privateer. It's basically a naval version of the B-24. It has more turrets on it. It has 2 turrets on the top and some really cool blister turrets. I believe it was at 6.3, right below the B-29. The final devlog of this week was for the G.91, an Italian jet armed with 4 50 cals. Besides that, there's actually quite a few other vehicles that will be added in this patch. We'll probably get the devlogs next week. I think I'll go over a few ones that are rather interesting. First one, the T95E1. No, it's not a tank destroyer. What I think is interesting about this is while it does have rather good ammunition, what I'm more concerned, I guess you could say, about is the fact that it has composite armor. On its front hull, in between 2 bits of steel, there is a big old chunk of silicone. And apparently this is supposed to protect against heat shells. I don't know if it's modeled in-game or not, I forgot to check it out. But this is another step closer to getting the T64, which a lot of people do want, but I don't really want this game to get power creeped into modern era. Another one I thought was interesting is the Churchill Mark I with a 40mm and a 75 in the chassis. Oddly enough, in the dev server, the 75 only had HE shells. I'm not sure if this is realistic anyway, but it is at 3.3, so I would assume it has something else. Another one was rather oddly placed, the Vickers Mark I. Despite being a medium tank, was oddly placed in the heavy tank line. And Japan got one thing this patch, the Cheeto Late. It's basically a Cheeto with a smaller turret, a bit better angled armor. It's at 4.7. It's going to be just like the Cheeto, the baller tank. Also, we figured out what's going to happen with the beginner premium plane for Germany is replacing the Italian one and giving you a BF109A. It has two 7.7s, probably pretty fast. I forgot to check it out at 1.3. So yeah. Also, the U.S. got the F3. The Italians, they got 35 planes, so I'm not going to cover them. And you've probably heard of all the cool ones so far. I will link in the description a list of every aircraft that is being added. I guess I could talk about the F-84G and how it has the ability to carry 32 HVAR rockets. Although it kind of kills its ability to fly, it's going to be a pain when Italians get tanks. Also is much better than the one in the US tech tree. But also with the Italian tech trees, people have noticed that the Reggiane aircraft have not been added, which is a little disappointing, but it does mean that we have something to look forward to in the future. The Reggiane E.R.A 2000 models were rather cool. Another thing to note is that the Italians, they only got 3 jets, 2 G.91s and the N-84. Also, what's very exciting is that smoke shells and smoke grenades are being added. The first round of vehicles are typically, mostly all, for smoke grenades, are all like top tier tanks. You won't really be seeing much of those unless you like playing tier 5. But smoke rounds have been added for a lot of US tanks and other ones. They're going to have a quite interesting effect on ground forces. I'm quite eager to see the chaos that will ensue when the Pass First launches and everyone is throwing smoke shells everywhere. But upon just what was announced for the dev server, Mike 10D did some data mining on the dev server and found some extra things, including a new map for ships, World War maps, but more exciting, some more new ships that are going to be added. Unfortunately, all we have are the names to go off of, but as from what we can assume, 2 are going to be gunboats, one being the Brave Border for the UK, which has 2 configurations, a gunboat version and a torpedo version. The gunboat version had 2 40s, the torpedo version only had 1 40, but 4 torpedoes. For the US, are getting the Asheville-class gunboat. From what I could find on Wikipedia, it states that it had a 75mm cannon, 4 50 cals, and 1 40mm. Although, on some models, the 40mm was replaced with various missile configurations. And the Russians are getting the 7Y destroyer, which Google brought up the Gnevny-class destroyer, which is an improvement on the 7U type destroyer. I find it odd that the Soviets are getting another destroyer while the US, Germany, and Japan are empty-handed. Someone else besides Mike did some data mining and found some 3D models of guns that could be decorated on your tanks. People are assuming that these are going to be for the summer event that always happens. The guns were the Type 44 carbine, the Lee Enfield, the STV-40, the Gewehr 41, M1 carbine, and a Panzerfaust. Also on that, the Tribal class destroyer and the Project 7U destroyer got stat card icons, so we can expect to see the destroyer test next patch. So it makes me a bit more excited for the patch coming up because destroyers look pretty fun. In the changelog, there was a buff to 30 cal and 50 caliber rifle rounds. For those who like to spend money and live in the US, from 16th of May to 8th of October, if you buy a prepaid 2000 Golden Eagle card from GameSpot for $15, you get an extra 1,000 Gold Eagles. So if you really like spending money, only costs $15, you can get a lot of Eagles. There was an article on some French website interviewing one of the developers of War Thunder. It was a pretty standard devblog and it kind of just covered things that we already knew. But at the end of it, there was a bit that heavily implied that the French tree is up next in the works. Now I'm not sure if that's going to be before Italian tanks or after, but I guess basically all we're getting to know is that French are on the horizon. And a final bit of news that happened this Saturday when I was sleeping in, on the War Thunder Reddit page, there is a little thing going on where you can attempt to be a beta tester for the user-created Vulcan. This is totally unofficial, not Gaijin related stuff. They're just testing out, and you can kind of sign up to try to be a beta tester. You've probably also seen the many YouTube videos of the thing flying around. It looks really awesome, although I have no idea if it'll ever be put in game because it is so, I guess you could say, overpowered in a sense. It's really fast and has a big bomb load. But that's everything this week. If you enjoyed the video, hit the like button. If you didn't like the video, hit the dislike button. If you want to see more, subscribe. I make these every weekend. Sometimes I like to throw in random videos during the week. So thanks for watching. Have a good day.